Film critic Josh Bell joins us for another spectacular weekend of talking movie events in Las Vegas. I like spectacular.
It is spectacular.
Yes,
Let's say it.
The
Why
right
not?
adjective. I love it. Josh, let's start with this documentary, Japanese documentary, animated.
It's not a documentary.
It's not.
It's an animated film.
I skipped ahead.
That's okay. It is Japanese. It is animated.
Off to a great start.
It's not a documentary. It's sort of a magical realist drama, I guess you could call it.
Yes.
It's called Tokyo Godfathers. It's a film from 2003 from Satoshi Kon, who is an incredibly well-regarded anime director. Died a few years ago, but left a small body of work that's really well-regarded. Movies like Perfect Blue and Paprika. And this is one of his earlier films. It's newly restored. It's going to be showing March 9th and March 11th at various theaters all around town. If there's both a dubbed and a subtitled version, the dubbed version is also new. So really bringing this movie back to kind of prominence among Japanese animated films.
I was going to say, just kind of catching some of this video right here. It is beautiful animation.
Yeah, it is. I mean, his visual style is incredibly creative and it kind of blends the line between reality and fantasy, at least in the films that I've seen. I haven't seen this one, but it's just something to see again, and of course on a big screen. Always good to get those amazing visuals that way.
Absolutely. Let's move on to people who love Judy Garland, which is so many of us.
Yes.
The whole month of March, the Clark County Libraries are celebrating Judy Garland by airing some of her films, right?
Yeah,
films about her.
The Clark County Library on Flamingo, there Tuesday afternoon at the Bijou series, which is every Tuesday afternoon. They're celebrating Judy Garland this month. This week's selection is The Harvey Girls, which is a kind of silly, light musical western with Judy Garland and Angela Lansbury and Sid Charisse. It's a fun movie. Got I forget some song about railroads in the West that became a big standard that Judy Garland did in concert a lot. So that's coming up this week, March 10th at 1 p.m. It's all free. Later on, they're showing Judy Garland's version of A Star Is Born, as well as the recent biopic starring Renee Zellweger, who of course won an Oscar for that.
Yes, I was going to say, what a great opportunity to see that movie for free.
Right, you can see that in a couple weeks, and you can really get a good Judy Garland education before you go see it.
I love it. I love it. Every week, Tuesday,
Yes.
Clark County Libraries. Let's move on to the documentary. The one that I was
there is a documentary we can talk about.
I wanted to get in there with that.
Yes.
It's called Lemmy. It's about this metal band, well, a legendary singer in the metal band, which, as you can tell by the way I'm describing
You're a big metal
I'm
fan.
not a metal fan.
I think we talked about Slayer one time and had a similar reaction.
Right over my head,
Lemmy Kilmister is a heavy metal legend. He was the frontman of Motorhead, and he passed away a few years ago. This movie is from 2010 when he was still alive, and a tribute to just his amazing intensity and hard living. The fact that he lived as long as he did is kind of amazing. So they're showing this at the Double Down Saloon, which of course is the perfect setting to see a Motorhead documentary.
Absolutely.
Followed by a performance from this local band Soldiers of Destruction, featuring a friend of Lemmy's as the front man, and I'm guessing they'll probably do some Motorhead songs. It's a whole evening of Motorhead stuff for free, March 12th at 9 p.m. at the Double Down Saloon.
You know I love free things.
Yes,
free
and
99.
you love Motorhead, so it works out perfectly.
I was going to say, you know, if we were talking about Motown artists, Marvin Gaye or Diana Ross or somebody, I would be able to speak about it much more comfortably.
There you go. That's
but
okay. We'll get there eventually.
Exactly. Yes. And maybe if I see this documentary, then I could
broaden your horizons. Yes.
Yes, which is always good. Let's move on to Ely is having their first ever film festival, right?
Yeah, Ely, small town in I guess central Nevada, you would say. It's about 4 hours away from Vegas. And the Ely Film Festival, March 13th through 15th, they're showing a couple of feature films that were shot in Ely, including one from a local filmmaker who's gone out to LA, I think, but has come back to his hometown to make this film called Reap Town, is a horror movie shot in Ely, plus some student films from local high school students and panels, and it's always cool to me to see small towns put on their own film festivals. We have one that goes on in Laughlin. Of course, we have the big festival in Boulder City, and now Ely. So hopefully, it'll join those. It's not too expensive. $12 to $50 for passes. Take a little road trip. It's beautiful and scenic up there. I've never been.
I've never been either, but I love a road trip. You grab the combos, you grab yourself a soda or something, hop in the car, and you got yourself a weekend of films. I love that. Moving on finally to the 1933 classic, King Kong, which is, of course, one of the big screen classics back on the big screen.
Yes, of course. TCM is putting this out in the latest in their big screen classic series. King Kong, I mean, people know King
Yeah,
Kong.
of course,
It's
yes.
been remade and sequelized and everything over time, but this is the original version, still with some like amazing stop motion effects that look just, you can see King Kong there
Yes.
swatting at the planes, and it's just as cool to see, honestly, as CGI. That's showing on March 15th at 1 and 4 p.m. in a bunch of theaters around town, and maybe recreate some of the awe that people felt when they first saw it.
Yeah, do you think it does hold up like that?
I mean, you have to make maybe some allowances, but honestly, I feel like CGI from like 10 years ago, some of that holds up less well than these stop motion effects from the 30s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I always love King Kong.
Yeah,
it's just
fun,
it's an interesting story. Like you said, swatting.
It's
and,
exciting. It's a classic. It's
Yes,
a great film.
Absolutely. Josh, thank you so much for coming in as always.
Thanks for having me.
All right, one last check of weather coming up after the break.